We've fallen at this hurdle for the last 2 seasons. No athletic club stand between us and the Champions League last 16. Can this rebuilt Aberdeen side finally break through? Welcome back to the Sir Alex Ferguson Aberdeen Challenge here on Super Sammy Plays. Well, here we go again. The dreaded knockout playoff round. We've fallen at this hurdle in each of the last 2 seasons, with Benfica beating us both times. This season, we have another chance to put that right as we face Athletic Club for a place in the Champions League last 16. Can we finally get over the line, or will history repeat itself? Let's get into it and find out. I'm going to be starting with a couple of domestic games before we get to that, as we go away to Dundee in this one, just down the road. Josh Doig, his cross is turned in for an own goal to give us a 1-0 lead, and then we added a second with Fer Lopez firing past the goalkeeper to make it 2. 2 minutes later, though, there's a bit of a comical mix-up between Caicedo and the goalkeeper, and Asapa Asong shoots home to pull one back for Dundee, but we do hold on to win the game and get another 3 points. Then on to the Scottish Cup 5th round. Probably earlier than you would have liked to play Celtic, but we are going to have to play them nonetheless. And we go 1-0 up in this one with Martin Wernblad scoring in the first minute and settling the nerves very early on. But Celtic did pull one back with Yuri Alberto in the 30th to level the game up. But 9 minutes later, Wernblad gets his second goal of the game to make it 2-1. And then we added a third in the 73rd minute as Jimenez causing chaos, crossing it with his left foot and a lovely volley from Fer Lopez past the goalkeeper to give us a 3-2, and we advance through to the next round. The Champions League registration was open now that the transfer window had closed, and we have added Kolix Alexandra and Milovanovic, and we have left out Vitek, so we'll be praying that Charles doesn't pick up another injury. And especially in this one, as we go away in the first leg to Athletic Club. And I plan to show you all of the highlights of this game and the return leg. But I'll be honest, there weren't very many of them, so this episode is going to be a little bit shorter than I would have hoped, but it is what it is. And we do go down, conceding the first goal before we do manage to equalise. It's right on the stroke of half-time as Funk showing his pace and finding Fer Lopez. Into the second half, though, Levi finding Funk, and he pulls it back to an uninjured Ansu Fati. Yes, you don't need to rub your eyes. You are seeing things correctly. He is on the pitch and not injured. But Nico Williams, who has got a slight injury, finding Lozano, but he shoots just wide this time. And we get away with one there. And then into the 67th minute, a nice bit of play on the edge of the box and a lovely 1-2 between Diaby and Meite. Diaby running through, shooting low and hard past the goalkeeper to turn his tie on its head and give us a 2-1 lead heading into the second leg at Pittodrie. And Funk is on form. The youngster doing brilliant in that one. He's showing his pace you saw for the first goal. And now, apparently we were lucky to win in that one, but we don't care as we've been pretty unlucky the last 2 seasons against Benfica. And with no domestic game in between the 2 ties, we are going to be straight into the second leg. And can we do it? Like I've said, we have failed at this hurdle the last 2 years in a row thanks to a red card in the first season by Diaby, and then last season a red card for Morgan Gibbs-White. Absolutely cooked us both times. So, are we going to throw this one away, or are we going to go through to the round of 16 for the first time in this save? Well, let's find out. As we have a pretty strong squad for this one. I don't think there was really any issues. All the big players are playing. And we started off brilliantly in this one. 15 minutes in, Moussa Diaby settling the nerves as he heads into the bottom corner to give us a 1-goal lead and 3-1 lead on aggregate. In the 56th minute, Athletic Club were trying to get one back. And is it Garutska? He attacks down the right, crossing into the box towards Petrovic, who, fun fact, we actually tried to sign, who they got instead of us. And anyway, we win the ball back, go straight down the other end with Martin Wernblad. He gets it on his left foot and shoots past the goalkeeper, Unai Simon, to give us a 2-goal lead. And would you believe it? That was the only 2 chances of the entire game. Literally 2 highlights for the whole leg. I couldn't believe it when I was actually editing this. I thought, I'll be able to throw a couple of chances in here and there. There was literally nothing. There was 2 highlights and it was both of our goals. And we qualify for the round of 16 for the first time with a 4-1 aggregate victory over Athletic Club. And yeah, what a performance. No moments of head loss, and finally we have done it, and it looks like the changes in the summer, selling some of those players and rebuilding the squad has certainly worked. I was very, very pleased watching this one. What I wasn't so pleased about is reading who we're going to be facing in the next round, which is going to be PSG, who you would imagine is probably going to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams to win this competition. But to be the best, you've got to beat the best. So we have beat them previously. So can we do it again just over 2 legs this time? And you can see there is some other huge ties in this one with Liverpool and Real Madrid. Obviously, that's a massive match. And then an all-Spanish tie of Athletic Madrid versus Barcelona. And then our biggest rivals, Benfica, are still left in the competition as they are going to be playing Inter Milan. And this is how our schedule is looking. We're on a nice win of 4 wins in a row at the moment after, I think we drew a couple of matches, didn't we, where we just lost all ability to score. So we have got 2 games until that Paris Saint-Germain first leg. And we are going to be at home in this one. So that'll be an interesting tie. And hopefully we can get a nice early victory. So the first of our 2 preparation games for that Paris Saint-Germain is going to be against St Johnstone away in the league. And it is unfortunately not going to start off as you would like, as Amdouni shoots past the, is it Vita? No, Charles, sorry, in this one, giving St Johnstone a 1-goal lead. But it isn't for too long as Josh Doig, the left wing back, getting up the pitch and shooting past the goalkeeper to make it 1-1. We added a second just before half-time as the ball coming back to Prenk Palage. His first effort is blocked, but the second one is a beauty and it goes into the bottom corner to give us a 2-1 lead. And I certainly wanted to see this one again. On the second attempt, hitting it on the, would you class that as a half volley? I think I probably would. And a great finish from him to give us a 2-1 lead. But then what a finish that is from Sean Savoury as he levels the game up to make it 2-2. And the only real chance after that was this one, just after half-time. A lovely little turn there. And Meite shoots past the goalkeeper to give us a 3-2 lead. And we do take the 3 points back to Aberdeen. And I thought I'd have a little look at the player stats as we are approaching, obviously, the end of the season now. And you can see our players are absolutely dominating all aspects of it. In the attacking wise, we are unfortunately not first, but I think that's because both of our strikers have obviously been doing pretty well themselves. Obviously, we only play with the 1 striker, so to have both of them second and third is pretty good going, with Vernblad on 11 and Meite on 10. Obviously, we've got other few players further down in the list, and I was quite surprised to see Fer Lopez only has 4 goals, because I feel like he's done really well for us this season. But in terms of the assists, we were absolutely cooking in this one as Jimenez is joint first from right back. Moussa Diaby and Gibbs White also in amongst it, and Sato. And yeah, again, surprised that Fer Lopez wasn't on there. But for the top average rating, Martin Jimenez is out in front by some distance, and he looks certain to win the Player of the Year. Unfortunately, though, he has picked up an injury, which means he is likely to miss at least one of those legs against PSG. So hopefully he can get back quick, because we're certainly going to need him. And on to our final preparation game before we play Paris Saint-Germain. And obviously, we're going to be hoping for a big victory in this one as we go away to Livingston. And Meite gets us off to a great start as he finishes with his left foot past the goalkeeper inside the 13th minute to give us a 1-goal lead. And then we end up waiting 25 minutes for our second goal, and it's the youngster Andres Hernandez as he shoots in the near post to make it 2. And we added a third just before half-time as Carlos Alexandra finds Fati, the first-time ball. Lovely bit of play on the edge of the box, finding Meite, and he gets his second goal of the game to make it 3. Livingston do pull one back as Vickers gets a second bite at it as a bit of poor defending there from Caicedo to make it 3-1. But we do go straight down the other end and Meite wraps up his hat-trick to make it 4 in the 67th minute. Livingston did think they brought one back in the 72nd minute. Poor goalkeeping there from Charles. With Barber heading in, but thankfully for us he was offside and the goal did get ruled out. They do eventually pull one back though, as Fool makes a fool of Vitek. It wasn't Charles, so I guess I'm the fool, really. But we do go on to win 4-2 and get another comfortable victory. And back-to-back wins in the league heading into that game against Paris Saint-Germain. Couldn't really hope for much more than that, other than obviously losing Jimenez to that injury. And classy Mate on form after he scored a hat-trick in that last game. Certainly what you want to see from your striker. Certainly trying to nail his place for those games against Paris Saint-Germain. And with that, we have made it 28 unbeaten, which is obviously pretty good going. And we've also received a 1.8 million from the Kamara deal, which obviously we sold him as he's now made 20 appearances for Slavia Prague. So we did it. We finally reached the Champions League last 16, going further than we've ever managed on this save so far. Big decision in the summer to sell a lot of our top players and completely rebuild the squad certainly seems to have paid off. Now we just have the small matter of beating PSG in the next round. But that is going to do it for today's episode. And if you've enjoyed this one, do me a favour, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys in the next one.